Apparently, Hunter Biden has been indicted on federal gun charges. Actual news, if you can believe it.
Biden's son Hunter has been indicted on federal gun charges. It marks the first time a sitting president's son has been indicted on federal gun charges. Hunter has...
Well, that's very specific. Federal gun charge? Yeah, okay, like, yeah, all right. So apparently what he did was a while back, he got a firearm and he lied in his ATF form where he said that he was not a substance abuser, but he actually was. And then he like threw the gun away a while after. To be clear, by the way, the charges that he's being brought up on are also charges all of you could have been brought up on if you have purchased a firearm and said no to being an addict if you have smoked weed. Because weed is federally illegal, you technically violated the rules on that document the same way Hunter Biden has.
Pleaded not guilty to the charges, but was originally planning to plead guilty as part of a deal that would have dismissed gun charges, but that deal fell through in court back in July. Let's go to Ryan Nobles now on Capitol Hill, who can tell us more about what has transpired. Ryan?
Lester, that's correct. Hunter Biden now facing 3 criminal counts related to that gun charge, and this came after the deal that was initially struck with federal prosecutors and Biden's legal team fell apart during a plea hearing in July. And part of the reason that this plea arrangement fell apart were these gun charges.
So this is almost 100% guaranteed. This is a political hit. If we started locking up every single American who was addicted to something while filing out their gun ATF form, that would be like every American with a gun. That's because at some point it's literally like, have you the ATF form asks you, have you ever felt sad? And if you answer yes, you legally can't have a gun. Everyone who owns a gun, except for me, I've never felt sad or done any illegal substances, has lied on that form. So like, allowing a plea deal to follow through specifically to charge him with these counts is 100% politically motivated. What they're hoping for is a big, messy trial during the 2024 election. They're playing dirty again. They did the exact same thing back in 2020 with the big Hunter Biden laptop where every right-winger was like, dude, we found child porn on this laptop that mysteriously appeared here. And then they all went quiet after the election actually happened because they were lying about that, and they still haven't found any evidence of wrongdoing in that laptop or in any of the associated files. But they're going to try the exact same trick in 2024, where before it was they were going to lie about the laptop, and now in 2024 they're going to have the ongoing trial with these charges that like every God-fearing American has had committed.
Biden was scheduled to take part in a pretrial diversion program that would have allowed him to avoid these charges. But the judge in the case was very concerned about the parameters connected to that diversion program, specifically that she would be responsible for monitoring Biden's activity. That began her asking very serious questions about the plea arrangement in general. The two sides could not come to an agreement, and the judge did not accept those plea arrangements. That led to the special counsel in this case, David Weiss, who was originally the U.S. attorney, being given special counsel status by the Attorney General Merrick Garland, giving him the complete purview to continue the investigation into Hunter Biden and then hand down charges if he thought it was necessary. He signaled a week or two ago that there would be charges coming down and that they would come by the end of the month, and he has made good on that promise by filing these charges today through a grand jury. These 3 charges are connected to that gun charge. 2 of the counts are specifically related to the accusation that Hunter Biden lied on an application for a gun permit. And specifically, what the law states is that you cannot be an active drug user while applying for a gun permit or the use of a gun. And so the first 2 counts are related to that. And then the 3rd count has to do with the fact that he made a false claim that he was not using drugs during that period of time. Now, the original charge had with it a significant...
Now, this is kind of complicated because even though I think this decision to go after him is politically motivated, it's also to an extent not what anyone wants. See, obviously, Joe Biden and the Democrats don't want Hunter Biden to be a constant 24/7 news story, so that's not to their benefit. And also, this plea deal arrangement fell through earlier in the year, which is bad for them. But at the same time, the other things that the Republicans wanted thrown at Hunter Biden were things that could potentially also implicate Joe Biden. So I think I saw this. Hold on, Hunter Biden. I think Trump has already commented on the charges here. Trump said something to the effect of they're only going after Hunter Biden on charges that wouldn't implicate his dad. I believe.
Significant amount of jail time if convicted, perhaps up to 10 years. We're still working out the details as to whether or not those penalties would apply to this specific indictment as well if it is successfully prosecuted by the special counsel's office. But of course, Lester, it comes against the backdrop of enormous political pressure that has been put on.
Why can't I find the... I swear to God, I saw it while I was getting the stuff together prior to the stream. There are already people... Let me see if I can see, like, who's tweeting about this. See, Marjorie Taylor Greene, of course.
The special counsel in this case, David Weiss, and of course the political pressure that is now on the White House as it relates to this. Earlier this week, the House Speaker Kevin McCarthy announcing a formal impeachment inquiry into the President of the United States, specifically related to his son's activities, questions around whether or not there was influence peddling from the vice president's office through Hunter Biden and his business dealings while he was serving as vice president.
So that's the thing that they really want to go after him for. The accusations, which heretofore have not been proven despite years and years of investigation and a consistent Republican inquiry in the House of Representatives since the last election. Their accusation is that while Joe Biden was vice president, Hunter Biden was able to leverage his father's position of power in order to gain business acumen, like on a quid pro quo basis. Now, one thing that we know almost for sure is that Hunter Biden definitely profited from his father being the VP. However, what hasn't been proven is that Biden as VP actually did anything. So basically what we know is that Hunter Biden would walk into a boardroom and go, "Hey, what's up, guys? Cocaine is really expensive. Also, my dad is the vice president. Can I have a job?" And they'd be like, oh, a job for Hunter Biden, the son of Vice President Biden. Oh, of course. And when could we meet your father to celebrate your job? And Hunter Biden is like, don't worry, you'll meet him at some point, don't worry. And then they never met him. That's what we know. Now, if there is evidence that Joe Biden actually did anything, which would be the crime, we have not yet seen it. Oh, here we go. Finally, I found the quote. Former President Donald Trump complained that the gun charge, quote, is the only crime that Hunter Biden committed that does not implicate crooked Joe Biden. So there will be Republicans who are complaining that the fact that they're only going after the gun charges is like them showing preferentiality towards Joe Biden, like they're protecting Joe Biden. But in truth, there is no basis for any charge against Joe Biden, and they have literally been investigating this since the most recent Congress convened. Since the House became Republican dominated, they have been launching this inquiry, and they have not found anything except for more big, meaty pictures of Hunter Biden's giant cock.
To be clear, House Republicans who've been investigating this case now for some time have yet to deliver any hard evidence that connects the president at all to his son's business dealings. But this complicates the political posture for the president heading into a re-election bid that his son, now, as you rightly point out, the first sitting president to face criminal charges in a situation like this.
Barry, not Barry Weiss, David Weiss. The special counsel who is managing the prosecution and indictment against Hunter Biden, I have a feeling that he's playing the centrist right now. He feels like there's a lot of political pressure for him to go after Hunter Biden because Hunter Biden has legitimately committed crimes. And there's like so much pressure from the Republicans to get it done. But he also knows that the Republicans want to charge Hunter Biden with things Hunter Biden hasn't actually done. So he's going for like the middle of the road thing. But I genuinely feel like the only reason this is happening is because of that political pressure from Republicans. I think that if Republicans weren't so psychotically dedicated to taking down Joe Biden through his son, then David Weiss would not have gone after these ridiculous gun charge indictments that are so commonly broken because the ATF's rulings on this are stupid. So that's interesting, huh? Ben Shapiro's been talking about this nonstop for weeks, and it's very insufferable. Yeah, well, the problem is they just haven't been able to get anything on Joe Biden, like, at all. Not at all. They haven't been able to get anything on Joe Biden. He's completely clean, as far as they can find. And also, unlike Obama, who did horrible things like wear a tan suit and bomb weddings, you know, it's pretty difficult to find any, like, big fuck up to tie to Joe Biden. Even stuff like the pullout from Afghanistan, you know, ostensibly something Republicans wanted. It was on Trump's timeline. So, you know, he's a pretty tough president to attack based on his behavior. I think that, like, Joe Biden really has to take the initiative on this. It's not enough to just stand there and be resolute, you know? He has to publicly comment consistently on how weak and pathetic the Republicans are. They offered nothing during Trump's term. The entire, and their entire strategy, they have no, like, plan for governance. And the entire strategy for taking down Joe Biden's glorious pro-union Bidenomics agenda or whatever is by harassing his family, you know? Attack is the best form of defense in this situation. I agree. You know, the Democrats are always so abstemious when it comes to that kind of thing, and it's really not to their benefit. But, I mean, we'll see how it goes. People are going to be very, very loud about this. Let me see. Do you think he will? Probably not. Where is the Hunter Biden tag? Biden could just decriminalize drugs, Vosh. Well, he could deschedule marijuana. Let me see. I'm mostly seeing left-leaning people talking about this. Yeah, look, see? Ben Shapiro responds to this, and what does his tweet say? So according to the media, there is no evidence that Joe was involved in or benefited from Hunter's corrupt business arrangements. So true, except for all of this crap. Except, again, it's not real. The Republicans have been trying to investigate this for nearly a year now and haven't procured anything. So the fact that Ben Shapiro is fixating on the mystical narrative of Joe Biden's corruption, as opposed to just Hunter Biden having the indictments thrown against him, I feel like that's an indication that Republicans aren't actually going to be happy with this outcome. Does that make sense? I feel like Republicans aren't going to be satisfied with just having charges. Look, 10 minutes ago, Ben Shapiro retweets, here's all the evidence that doesn't exist against Joe Biden. They're so obsessive. The focus on gun charges is to get everyone looking away from the tax and FARA violations for what it's worth. Like just so obsessive about trying to pin this to Joe Biden. Oh, wow. A right-wing rag that actually paywalls. That's actually great to see. Nobody's going to read this. Nice. Normally it's left and center mags that paywall. It's very nice to see a right-wing mag. The Federalist also has a hard paywall. Yeah, but the Federalists tend to appeal to, like, wonk types. You know, Town Hall is more of like a loony bin. The White House is reminding mainstream media outlets to defend Biden amid the impeachment probe, and they've dutifully yet falsely spread reports that there's, quote, no evidence of wrongdoing by Biden. These reports, of course, ignore the mountain of evidence already collected by House committees and contradictions expressed by Joe Biden himself. Here's what Biden surrogates in the mainstream media are whistling past with apparent blinders on to try to convince Americans there's, quote, no evidence against the president. Oh, and that's where the article ends. I guess they really haven't found anything. It's like one of those meme tweet threads where they're like, here's all the evidence I have that this person did wrongdoing. And then, like, in the reply, they just say, that's the end of the list. And it's like, haha, see, it's all over. What evidence that Joe Biden is rich? There's no evidence. If there was evidence, then they would be talking about it. But again, there's been a Republican inquiry into this since the beginning of the year, and nothing has come of it. They've spent like millions and millions of taxpayer dollars on this panel, and nothing has come of it. They did the exact same thing after Donald Trump won in 2016. Immediately spent millions of dollars trying to find evidence of Trump's spurious claim that 3 million illegal votes were tallied in the election towards Hillary Clinton, and nothing was found at all anywhere. But, you know. Yeah, Biden is a particularly difficult candidate to go after when it comes to corruption charges because he's not from wealth. He was not especially wealthy when he became a politician. He's unironically one of the closer elements that we have of like working class representation in the government. And I mean that sincerely. Obviously, that doesn't mean that he's been like some proletarian champion. I just mean like working class rep in the sense that like he kind of is. I mean, clearly now he's wealthy. He's literally the president. All you have to do when you're in that kind of power, you just have a book ghost written and you can make millions of dollars. That's how Bernie Sanders made a ton of his money too, right? He wrote a book, but he wasn't wealthy prior to that. Not really. I saw someone state that Biden borrowed money from Obama for his son's medical care. That's true. Yes. Biden could not independently afford medical care for his son. So yeah, he borrowed money from Obama in order to do it. Obama is quite wealthy. I mean, he was wealthy for a while before, though not nearly as wealthy as a lot of other people in Congress. I believe so, Dr. Judge Esquire, yes. Anyway, you guys see what the deal is here, right? Vosh Middle Class Joe Biden Has a Corruption Problem by Zephyr Teachout. This article is more than 3 years old. Oh, is this before he even became... Oh, wait, what does this have to do with anything? Support for finance over working class. This is just him being a liberal. Yeah. I thought this was about like the specific claims regarding Hunter Biden.